Hello, I'm Orla Allen, medium and Orla Allen, author, and here are some cards for you. Just before we get to the cards, if you're interested in learning mediumship or psychic work like the cards here, I have an online class on a Wednesday evening between 7 and 9 o'clock. It's closed for the month of July, but it reopens in August. So if this is something which you are interested in, then please reach out and get in touch and I'll be able to give you more details. So moving on to the cards now. The first card is Temperance, and Temperance very much talks about where we need to find balance. So this is either talking about a situation where we haven't had balance recently, and we've moved into a situation, say a relationship where it's give and take. It's not just one person doing all the taking and one person doing all the giving. If you look at the two cups, or the two chalices, the water's flowing from one and back to the other. None of it's been wasted. None of it's been spilt. So it's very much talking about give and take. So if you have moved into a new relationship recently, then I feel like this is a good sign to let you know that it isn't going to be like the relationships you've had before. It is going to be a mutual giving and taking. But I also feel like I'm being drawn to the fact she's dipping her toe in the water. So I feel like if this is referring to a relationship for you, then we've maybe been holding off recently, or we're a little bit hesitant about getting into this relationship or fully committing to it because of things that have happened in the past. And we're just kind of dipping our toe in to test the waters. So this card's coming forward to talk very much about how it's going to be a more balanced relationship, and it's also talking about where it needs to be a more balanced relationship. So if the relationship you're in at the moment isn't balanced, where you're doing all the giving or you're doing all the taking, as the case may be, then it very much calls for you to have a look at this situation and figure out why you're doing all the taking and you're not giving anything back, or why you're accepting just doing all the giving and not getting anything back. So it's very much talking about this being a time in your life where you need to bring in some balance, where you need to have fairness, where you need to honour yourself and trust yourself and believe in yourself enough to know that you're worthy and you deserve that fair relationship. But it also kind of talks to those of you who are maybe in an all giving relationship or all taking relationship, where you need to look at why this is. Why do you not feel the need to give back to this person? And maybe maybe you're not even aware that you're doing it, and maybe that's why the card's coming forward to draw your attention to it. But no relationship should be all give or all take for one person. It should be an equal balance. So very much if you want that stable, balanced relationship for yourself, then you need to make sure that you're either giving yourself or you're asking to get some back if you're the one doing all the giving, if that makes sense. So this is all very much talking about where there's a change coming for you and where we're moving into a new phase. Now, the next card we have is the Knight of Swords. And this very much feels like we're charging into battle. And I feel like the battle here is for ourselves. It's very much about where we're addressing the things in our life that isn't balanced, the things in our life that isn't right, the places where you're not getting what you're given. So if you're in a working environment where you're working 24/7 or where you're given 110%, but you're maybe not getting the pay that you deserve, or you're being passed up for promotion when really you should be the one that's getting promoted. So this is very much talking about where you're starting to fight for yourself, where you're very much speaking your truth and you're very much speaking up for yourself. And I feel like it's really important that you do it at this time, because I feel like this is the time to do it. So whatever it is that the future's holding for you, now is the time to take action. Now is the time to stand up for yourself. Now is the time to say, do you know what? This isn't acceptable to me. I want better. Do you know? And finally, we have the Queen of Wands. And this is quite an interesting card because it's talking about a work situation, and I very much wanted to go to a work situation with the Knight of Swords there. But the work situation can also be how you spend your days. So this is very much talking about where you're coming into your own power. You've got the sunflower there as a signifier for, letting go of the shackles, the sun coming out, things being much more positive, things being much more upbeat, you feeling freer in yourself and in your situation. And there's a beautiful rainbow behind you as well, which very much talks about the balance within the energy centers in the body. So it's very much screaming that you're about to move into your queen phase. Whether you're male or female, we can all be a queen. And it's very much talking about where we are shining. We're in connection with our emotional side, because the Queen tends to bring forward the emotions of things. But we're also shining. So it's talking about where we're feeling happier and more confident, and more self aware, but also more aware of the situation that we're in. Because it's very easy to get into a situation where you're in the situation, but you don't really realize how you're being treated. Where you're maybe given a lot, you feel like it's a given relationship, but then suddenly one day you wake up and realize, wait a minute, when did I get back? When did anybody give to me recently? So this is very much talking about where you're moving into your own power, where you're finding yourself. And where you're standing up for yourself, but where you're also getting it, because it almost feels like where you've stood up for yourself, people are respecting you more because you stood up for yourself. So it's a huge blessing, all told. So yeah, this feels like a very, very positive spread, but it is a call to action. So if you don't listen to the call, if you don't take the action, then you're not going to have the outcome at the end. But I do feel like the end outcome is very much within your grasp and very much something which you should be reaching for. Have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will speak to you all again soon.